If you're engaged in another aggravated robbery, whether it's a minor aggravated robbery for $5 or it's a major bank robbery, you must be sentenced to the maximum term of imprisonment unless it would be manifestly unjust. 14 years imprisonment without parole. I know, look, we know what the counter argument is going to be. Well, don't commit the crime. But sometimes crimes have more to do with, or less to do with willpower, yes or no, more to do with other things, addiction, mental health issues, abuse issues. It's not, we don't live in a world that's black and white. We live in a nuanced world. So having outcomes or legislations that are black and white eventually can lead to a detrimental outcome for society. One of the earliest three-strike cases that caused outrage was that of a 69-year-old man suffering from Parkinson's and dementia who groped a fellow patient at his home for the disabled in 2010. The man's lawyer argued that the behaviour was a side effect of both his condition and the medication he was taking, something that isn't unheard of. Regardless, the man whose condition was so bad he needed help dressing, bathing and getting out of bed and had to be helped into court by two officers, was charged with 2 counts of indecent assault, facing a possible first strike.
I don't know about you, but I feel safer already knowing that he is off the streets.
Well, we're going to play a clip with David Seymour, and one of the questions that Ryan Bridges asks him is, how much safer is this going to make us? It's very intangible. Sorry, what you're going to say?
Anything that removes the ability for a judge to judge should instantly be thrown away. What's the point of having a judge in that case? Shall we just have if this then this way of sentencing someone?
A vending machine. Just pull that lever and that lever and then take out the...
Just a fucking flow chart straight to the gallows.
And also, listen, this government has said it's not doing cultural reports, right? But they're saying we want to take discretion away from judges. But in this instance, they're saying, we want to give discretion to the judges. The story is not lining up, right? And when the story doesn't line up, I get filled with dread. And I'm not filled with dread for me. I'm filled with dread for the vulnerable in society. I'm filled with dread for people who are going through things that could be a contributing factor towards bad decisions they're making. We don't live in a black and white world. We live in a world of greys and nuance. Therefore, a black and white outcome when it comes to crime is never going to be the best outcome, in my opinion. How about this one? In another case, an 18-year-old boy got a first strike for assault after he accidentally injured a shopkeeper while trying to nick a couple of bottles from a liquor store. There was also the case of a 21-year-old who racked up 2 strikes after stealing $68, various items of clothing, a lighter and a cell phone from victims he kicked and punched. The judge warned him that when you next steal a hat or a cell phone or a jacket or a skateboard, you will be sentenced to 14 years imprisonment without parole. Now, again, I know what some people are going to say. They're going to go, don't steal then. This is not the world we live in. That's like telling the alcoholic, don't drink then. Just stop. Just stop drinking. We don't live in a world of black and white. Black and white outcomes, especially when it comes to things like imprisonment, I think my honest held belief is we'll end up harming society more than it will help. Chewie.
Yeah, harming and costing. We've spoken before about how long it costs per year to keep someone in prison locked up. Like it flies in the face of, and I'm banging a dead horse here, it flies in the face of all research and evidence. This is not a policy that is going to reduce crime. It is a policy that is going to blow out our prison numbers. It is a policy that is going to cost the New Zealand taxpayer far more than any other option. The problem that the government is trying to solve is not crime. The problem that the government is trying to solve is we want to be the government. We don't want to be opposition. And this seems to fucking work.
Getting re-elected.
So we are going to ignore everything. Like people have a hard-on for crime and punishment.
Yeah.
Like if it was on the ballot, had the death penalty, they'd fucking go that far as well. People want to see bad people punished, whether it works or not.
Well, I mean, like, the thing that we just said, though, as well, bad people. I mean, people who have come to the end of their rope and have no other choices. I mean, you can use the silly example about when you think about, the 1800s, stealing a loaf of bread to feed your family. What's the equivalent of that today? I don't know. Bad people? Maybe. Maybe not. Sick people? Maybe. Maybe not. We don't live in a black and white world. So therefore we can't have a black and white justice system.
We don't want cultural reports because the word cultural is scary for some people, but we don't want to have anything that engenders any sort of sympathy for somebody's situation. We don't want that as a factor. And I get that there are a lot of people that'll write letters to the fucking Herald or their local newspaper about how judges have got it wrong because they don't think someone's childhood has any bearing on how they turn out as an adult. You look at some of those cultural reports that came out, people with some of the most horrific childhoods, the people that they should have been able to trust the most, did the most damage. They never got the setup that any functioning human got to be a productive, stable member of society. And then they come crashing into the crime and punishment. Maybe they got no help from the state. Maybe they got the wrong help from the state. Maybe they were hurt by the state.